Hello and welcome to my first ever challenge run, Dark Souls 1, using only chest items. I've always wanted to do challenge runs and other Dark Souls content on my channel, but sadly with college and then work, I haven't had a lot of time. So this is finally when I'm taking the initiative to focus on this and get it done, and it's finally ready to be edited and out. Now with that said, let's get into our rules. Rule number 1, any item used must be from a chest, and this is going to tie directly into rule number 2. Any key items, such as the Lord Vessel, key to the Seal, Covenant of Artorias, that I cannot skip, can be used. However, if I can skip a key item, I will. And the last rule would be, I can level, and any soft humanities my counter is fine. Anyways, let's get into this run because it's kind of long. Alright, for a chest-only run, we need a fitting name. So, Chester. Perfect name in my opinion. But then I had to pick class, and there is one weapon I know of at the start that I want to use, and I don't know what it takes because I did not research any of this run. So I choose Bandit because I'm pretty sure it has some of the highest strength. The issue is I did not research anything for this run. No weapons or anything like that. I'm doing this based off of nothing but what I can remember, which normally is pretty good except for chest. I choose the Black Firebomb starting item, which you'll see why in a second. Don't you worry, I'm not immediately breaking the run since all the starting gifts don't count because they're not from chest. The rest of it doesn't really matter, so we just get right into the run. Starting off first thing, we need to lose everything that is not from a chest and our Black Firebombs. And just like that, we are now ready for our run. So we can leave, so we can pick up this item, and run's over. That's it, it's done. Thank you for watching. Enjoy. Alright, so like I said before, key items I can't skip, so that technically doesn't count, and as everyone knows, the tutorial doesn't count. So now for the reason we chose Black Firebombs. Although the tutorial does not count, I'm still going to find a way to not have to kill this boss before I have items from the chest. So as most people know, kill with Black Firebombs, and then all you gotta do is open your menu while it's dying, put out. Now as you can see, I haven't gained the souls, and I've used the 5 Black Firebombs, but the Silent Demon is very much still alive. So let's get rid of the rest of these since they're not from a chest. And it's like I didn't even use them since the demon isn't dead. Running through past the Asylum Demon, we don't pick up any of our usual starting items, sadly. And then we get to talk to Oscar, who will give us our Estus Flask, sadly again. But, more importantly, give us both the keys we need to leave. Yeah, there's a lot of items that you end up grabbing before any chest items. This is why the tutorial does not count. Just like that. Silent Demon's still alive. And with that music cutting out, we are now free to start the run, not killing the Asylum Demon until we come back with an item from a chest. So now usually the first thing you do is you sit down, you level up with those wonderful souls you get from the Asylum Demon, but as you can see with his HP bar still on my screen, we don't get that luxury, nor can we pick up any of the soul items or anything else that'd be helpful around Firelink. A lot of items gone to waste in this run. But, lucky for us, there is almost a starter pack of chests hidden below this elevator right down here, with some of it, most of it being useful. First chest, trash. Cracked red eye orbs, not needed. But we get our starting weapon, the Morning Star, and a talisman. The only type of casting tool that we get out of a chest. This chest provides the only 6 homeward bones we're going to get for the entire run that we have to use wisely. and some Lloyd talismans, which at first seem very useless, but they have a good secondary use we're going to use outside of PvP. And of course, the last chest in Firelink, which is empty, but it's a secret tool that'll help us later. Testing my damage, I decide to check the first few hollows, and well, not too bad. I'll take that. One shot, two-handing. One handing's not as good, but we'll take it. It's what we have. Now it's time for our first area, Undeadburg. Goes by very easily, and of course we get our obligatory break jump scare. And then once again, I forget. I almost turn around to pick up items all the time in this run. I hoard everything, so this is a hard change for me. I then recall that I'm actually able to reorder items, so anything that wasn't from a chest that I have to keep on me, I move to the bottom so I don't accidentally end up pressing on it. Now with my items in order, I decide to get my first level of the run, which I immediately throw in strength, because if I can do more damage, I'm happier. I completely forgot that there was even a chest over in this house until I was walking past it, actually, so I didn't remember what was in it. But once I opened it, I felt like this run really had the blessing of one of my favorite YouTubers. If you know, you know. Sadly, without the master key or the residence key, I can't get in this door. And it's right here that I got the wonderful idea. What if I could jump on this railing and then somehow get over to that chest? So, me being a pro Dark Souls player, I make this first try. So I make it first try, and now I just need to not fall off the railing and make a quick jump over to the chest, which grants us some gold pine resin. I am once again reminded about how many items I'm going to miss out on this run. This time the crystal lizards. I can't grab any of them. Simple bait and run tactic. Always works. It is right here that I realized the golden pine resin might have been overkill. Might not have needed that for the Tauros game of all things. And then of course my luck for this run shows right here.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Not only can I not pick up the rare drop from the boss, but this Humanity and Homeward Bone that they gave me, I can't have either. Those are not from any chest. So, you'll see this often, I have to drop everything I get. Sorry, Solaire, no jolly cooperation in this run. And so I get burnt by the Hellkite for denying Solaire. I get my shortcut back, and just like that, we have made progress. And, once again, we get some more levels, which I dump directly all into my strength, and a little bit into endurance, hoping I can find armor. Easy peasy. Couple of rats to kill, and then we can move on. I almost forgot I was playing a Dark Souls game. So not only can I not cure poison, but I can't heal because I have no Estus, and that is the tick rate that it is killing me. which will very much kill me before I make it to a bonfire. So I have to head back to clear any poison stats effect. I'm going to be honest. These rats kicked my ass for this entire, 10 minutes. I don't know why, but I had nothing but skill issues to these rats. Look at this. Look at this whiff. I have no excuses. And then I just skill issue against one simple hollow. This run, I learned very quickly, was going to be bad. Since the direct approach wasn't working, we're going to run past them. Alright, or not. Since the direct approach wasn't working, I'm going to completely avoid rats. I decided that a flame-breathing Hellkite was better than rats. So, this sets the tone for my entire run. I'm going to hit some walls. I'm going to, instead of going against those walls, just choose a whole nother path. So I ran through to make sure that the gate doesn't get closed, locking me on the other side. I can open it immediately, only to realize I've made some grave miscalculations. But I get the lever, nothing else matters. I do, however, die, and then this hollow decides to flex it. He can heal and I can't. While killing this hollow, I actually get the first Soccer-Mandy of the run, which at first I desperately want to keep on me, but I very quickly found out I was going to die a lot more than expected in this run. And of course, as this run does, he actually dropped the Vorhelm. After I completely failed to stealth past this Boulder Knight, I assumed he wouldn't follow me. I don't know why I assumed that, like I haven't played these games before. Now, at this point, I was feeling pretty confident, so I decided to take on the Tower Knight without grabbing the bonfire or the shortcut back. Because I'm him. I'm no longer him. At this time, I decided I'm gonna run. I think about killing this man every time I see him, I'm not gonna lie to you. Once again, I get some levels, straight in a string. More damage equals less time to die. Now, with a shortcut close by, I feel completely confident to have a rematch with the Tower Knight. Once again, can't pick up items. That was probably some nice upgrade material, too. Here's where I remember something exists. That is, 1, I don't have any upgrade material, so I can't get a stronger weapon. 2, I don't have any armor at all. And 3, repairing. I forgot that you need to repair items in this game. And I'll never be able to get into the front door of Sif's area. Now, to get a quick about 2,000 souls, I figured I'd take out the Titanite demon here. Easily. Or not. Alright, so let's take a look at our damage. That is not great. 4 hits to kill one of these shrubs, and I can't pick up any moss. Awesome. So my thought process here is I'm going to clear out some of these knights, and then I'm going to go and take on a Moonlit Butterfly. So I realized I don't want to do that, and I don't need to. Now entering everyone's favorite area from Dark Souls 1, Blighttown. And of course this first chest, which will be the Sealer's Armor set if I remember correctly. I did not. So, yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I said I didn't plan this run at all. Did not do any research, just nothing but trying to remember the chest. Also, how many ladders do you need to take to beat Dark Souls 1? I'm curious. I think it's like 4. So now, this is the correct chest for the Sealer's Armor set. Or a sorcery that I don't remember even existing, and the Sealer's Armor set's actually on the ground right there. Yeah, so there goes the armor I thought I'd get. So I may not remember the last 2 chests, but I am certain to know this one. I know it has an upgrade material that'll actually be able to help later on. A dragon scale. I'd like to remind you once again that issue with poison and me not being able to heal or cure it in this run. But at least I can get a plank shield that I thought at least from a chest. Instead I get something actually a lot more helpful. A heal. Since I can't drink Estus or use regular humanities, this is my only heal right now. Seeing as I got whooped by a single hollow earlier, I decided it was time to redeem myself. You know, this would look so good if I didn't get stabbed in the face twice at the start. Not gonna lie to you. With that, I get a free almost 2k souls and another item that I have to drop because I can't get upgrade material of any sort in this game. Great. So I decided to fight the Hydra, and this is what I would call the first wall of the run. Oh, that damage is not looking good. I really wish I could tell you that I just got good, and this Hydra ended up getting killed rather soon. This took me probably 45 minutes. And not 45 minutes to win. 45 minutes to keep doing things like this. But then, I had the run. 1 HP in a dream. Hydra 30% dead. One head already missing. And then I choke. But that wasn't the run. This was it. See that? I notice how close that ladder is. Just like the rats, if I can't beat it, I'm going to simply see if I can outrun it. This is no longer a game about strategic placements and stamina management. This is how fast can I be and can I go around. And just like that, I am home free. Okay, stop. I am home free. But now I've made the Dark Root Garden. And so the hard part was out of the way. The reason that we're here is for a very important item. But first, we have to make it through multiple different enemies in which I almost died to immediately. Now here I remembered if I go off that little lip, I will die to that fall damage. So going around, we get to our chest here with only one that I can see following me. But no matter what, as long as I grab this item, I'm good. And we have an armor set. Let's go. But there's another item here that we want to go get. And it's this chest in this water. Is it going to be a helpful item? No. No, not in the slightest. But it's an item in the chest, and so I want it. And it's one of the many embers that we'll actually get in this run. As soon as I had to equip my armor, but I realized this is very heavy armor. So it's a good thing I've been living some endurance, even though I still can't roll with it. Since I'd taken the time to get all the way up here, I decided that I would use some cheese to get some easy souls, since each of these drop 2 to 3k. So you go over to this back corner, and you simply have them walk up these stairs, and then they'll walk off the ledge and take you with them. Yeah, that does suck. Anyways, I figured out that I could put on just the helmet and still have the fast roll, so now I can play how I usually do. Running past items like this Firekeeper soul here, and then remembering I can't even heal is so sad. So the strategy here was to get them all into one corner so that I could just take them out one by one, try and do some damage to the channeler without him being able to sit there and shoot me with spells over and over, which was going really, really well until see that jump attack? Yeah, they do love that attack, don't they? Be ashamed if they did it again. Yeah. And someone else rings the bell. After taking more than one try to kill a channeler and seeing how little damage I do, I decide I need to go get some extra souls. Wondering what boss I could kill for some easy souls, I then remember we didn't kill the tutorial boss, and I now have a weapon from a chest. So I decide let's go do that, and while we're there, we'll try and kill his brother too. Ah, home sweet home. Although I don't remember there being so many men with torches. And I hate these things so much. I hate these enemies so much. And look at that same jump attack. Anyways, I decide I should probably just go around them. That might be easier. So, against this attempt, I kind of forgot these two hollows were in here. And then, look at this. Ref, look, Ref, watch the replay. That's not it. That's a Dark Souls 2 hitbox. That doesn't belong here. Look at that. So this time, after carefully killing the hollows, I can now just fight him in the front of the arena, where those other two hollows shouldn't even really get aggro. And with him being a tutorial boss and weak to bleed, I have one of the very few weapons that make this very, very easy. So now, we can finally say we beat the tutorial boss. A couple hours into the run. With the souls that I finally got from the tutorial boss, I level endurance because I really want to wear more of that stone armor set. Then get absolute skill issue here. And finally my real first try, or that last one. So, much like his younger brother, he also is very weak to bleed. The only difference is I don't do a lot of damage. So I'm going to be heavily relying on just that bleed. But look at that nice bleed damage right there. Look at that, a whole red bar. Just got to do that another, 12 times or so. And just like that, about 8 or 9 bleeds later, we get ourselves an easy 20,000 souls to level with. Although I gotta drop the Homeward Bone and once again, humanity given me. Sadly, we can't pick up the Titanite slab that he drops, so we have to just leave. It took me a long time to decide what I want to level here, actually, because I knew I'm gonna have to deal with the Poison Swamp at some point, but I also want damage and endurance, so I don't know what to do. So I decided to drop it all in endurance. So now I have 25 strength, 25 endurance. And I can wear the legs. I very quickly figured out every 2 hits is a stagger with the Morningstar against the Bell Gargoyles. So although I'm not very good at this weapon, and the whiffs are very punishing, all I had to do was hit them twice in a row and I could keep them stagger locked. And then I got a bleed just to finish them off. Once again, another item I have to drop. The second one goes down just as easy as the first, with me whiffing and then failing to do hit spell gargoyles because I'm not good at this game. But with the 2-hit combos, this fight is done. So now my near free 10,000 souls, I can drop my Twin Humanity and the weapon that we got earlier in the fight. And we have progress to ring the first bell in Dark Souls 1. This took me a lot of hours, but I was just going collecting a lot of items. Then we get a sick gesture. And it's back to Firelink. I decided that it's probably best to split my levels between strength and endurance evenly. 26 in both. And then I get a random 1,000 souls. I don't know where this came from, really. After repairing my equipment, and then deciding I should probably give him the Ember since I have it anyways. He seems rather happy about it.
A weapon.
So I use the key I got earlier, and then turn around to go ahead and have a rematch with the demon that killed me earlier. With this newfound confidence of killing the last 2 bosses, I was ready. I did this thinking he was going to give more souls than he did, as well as I can't pick up that Demon Titanite anyways. But we did get 1 level, in which I'm going to throw into my health. Alright, I do good damage, so I'm not too worried about the Moonlight Butterfly, is what I thought going into this. I forgot 2 things. 1, I'm under-leveled, this weapon's upgraded, and the third thing is I forget that the Moonlight Butterfly heals when it lands. This is going to be a very long fight. I do less than 3 red bars. Even longer when I decide to die. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the hardest time I've ever had with the Moonlight Butterfly. This took me a dozen attempts, maybe. It was bad. since stamina regeneration goes faster when you're wearing less armor, I was taking my armor off to swing and get more hits in, but then putting it back on to be able to do those rolls that put me a little bit under that wall, so I can less time the roll and more hide behind the wall like I'm taking cover. With that, the Moonlight Butterfly only has 5 red bars left, and I'm feeling confident this is the run. In which I was much more confident when the Moonlight Butterfly wasn't throwing out every unique move that it had. I mean, I rarely ever see that laser. And here it is doing a second time in one of its, like, upright cycles. This thing is just pulling out all the stops and stuff that you never see. So then it switches sides. I'm used to that, which is probably going to land soon. And it does that bullshit. I've never even fucking seen that move. What the hell was that? I'm not gonna lie to you. I was stuck on the Moonlight Butterfly for a lot longer than I would have expected. I mean, looking back at this, I ranked this boss as one of the hardest 3 that I fought the whole time, probably. But with its HP being low enough here, I was willing to make sure this run was the last one. So, as my application to the Firebomb Academy, we take out the Moonlight Butterfly. What y'all don't understand is it is so painful for me to drop boss souls in these games. I hoard them in every game. Anyways, with 1 bell rung and now some extra souls in my pocket, time for Quelaag. So if you didn't know, Poison is going to do about 720 HP from the Blighttown Swamp. It's doing 4 HP a second for about 3 minutes. But I found out through my friend Christian, you can roll poison damage. The tick rate actually changed. Go ahead, look at the video again. It slows it down. So I can make it to Quelaag, just not with a lot of health. I decided I can probably do Quelaag hitless. Feeling very confident. This is our first run damage check. And that is not very good. So, can I do this though? Oh yeah, she's 2 red bars down. Will this take a really long time? Yes, along with stuff like this. Inclines. So, I quickly decided this would not be the way I want to do this. Instead, remember that item I picked up earlier in this exact swamp? I have 1 full heal that I'm going to use here, because I can't avoid the poison damage. And then, I have my gold pine resin. I'm going to make sure this fight is a first try after these items. Just in case I decide not to use the gold pine resin from the start, in case I'm wasting it, although I only have 1 full heal, so I don't know why I thought not to do that. Anyways, this damage was stunned to me. But once I got her down a couple of bars, I decided it's time to use the gold pine resin. I feel comfortable enough that I know how to be aggressive without getting myself killed. Much better damage with gold pine resin. Look at that. Right around here is where I realized this might be possible, and I started panicking a bit. And in my making space thinking she can do an explosion, ran into the lava. Right here where I failed to notice what attack she was about to do and took almost all my HP to lava. She trapped me next to the wall with lava and then tried to explode. I honestly think I got out of that just by being a coward and getting lucky. But with all that said and done, all it took was a couple more hits and her trying to run away from them. just like that, Quelaag done. We have made actually more progress into this run. So now, we get our rewards, and once again, I have to drop another Bossel. And now we have rung 2 Bells of Awakening. Now this time, instead of dropping all my levels into Strength, I put 1 into Dexterity, because my friend Christian then told me that there is a spear in a chest. So, into everyone's favorite fortress, I decide I should probably check my damage against the enemies here. Very not pleased with that damage, I decide it's time for me to run through another area. This was fun. He's still alive. I need to run. I did not remember this chest. Once again, no big surprise, but looking at it, I found bad upgrade material. I don't have regular shards. But lucky for me, I did, however, remember a chest up here. I knew up here was a chest that had a very important ring for this run. The Ring of Skill Protection. I mean, look at these numbers. That's just fantastic. So down here is where we get to our next chest. Well, kind of a chest. It's a Mimic. But if you did not know, Mimics have another way of being opened. I decided for this run, I would make it so I cannot kill Mimics and then it's a regular monster drop. But if I use a Lloyd's Talisman, which causes the Mimic to just open up like a regular chest, then it counts. I only have 4 Lloyd's Talismans, so I don't remember what each Mimic has. This one, however, I remember gives me the Lightning Spear, which is a not bad weapon and already upgraded. I mean, look at that damage upgrade. Simply phenomenal, dude. I can actually do damage now, although I did lose my bleed, so I'm still going to keep that weapon in my back pocket. Moving on through Sen's Fortress, I then remembered that there is another chest here that has another helpful ring. This chest is guarded by 2 Boulder Knights, one right over here next to the stairs, and then one that is going to be directly in front of the chest around the corner. But after killing both of them, you get yourself a nice another free reward. Get out of the way. Inside this chest is the Flame Stone Plate Ring. So, once again, it's another defense upgrade without having us to gain any more weight, since already our armor's too heavy to be doing that anyways. This time for flame defense only. It is here that I found out while messing with my stats in the leveling screen that the Lightning Spear doesn't scale with anything. It just does damage. Did not know that. So, going back to leveling, I decided to drop a point into Strength because my mace still works and a different weapon later will be able to be used. Now taking a detour from the side of the boss room, we get to deal with Rickard, and after stabbing him in the ankles about a half dozen times, dies. But more importantly, he's guarding 2 chests actually. One of the chests will give us a Divine Blessing, a full heal for the run. And the other one, a rare Ring of Sacrifice, which I end up not using. And now it's time for one of the easiest bosses in the entire game. One of the very few that I can probably do first try. I mean, look at that damage that we're doing. On top of that, all I gotta do is make him unstable and he'll fall off. Oh, please no. Oh, please no. Well, you know what? Yeah, sure. I'll take one death to the Iron Golem. That's fine. Please don't do it again. Well, you know what to say. Third time's the charm. I really wish it wasn't 3 tries for the Iron Golem, but, you know, we'll take that. Just because that's actually the first time I've ever done the knocking him off the side of the bridge. Because I never wanted to get thrown off. Look at that. First time in this run. Once again, dropping all the items that we got from him, including his soul as I weep silently. And now we can go ahead and head off to Anor Londo. We're actually making progress. With the free souls from the Iron Golem, I go ahead and drop everything into strength because two-handing, I now have 50 strength, and that's going to be required, at least I thought. After killing these giants, we get another reward from a chest. Demon Titanite, that we can never use because that's only for boss weapons, so yeah. Anyways. I once again did not actually remember what was in these chests. So inside the first one we get Twinkling Titanite. Not very useful. But inside this one, which is a Mimic, so we need to use a Lloyd's Talisman, we actually get something that's going to be game-changing for this run. The Crystal Halberd. I don't have the stats to use it yet, but look at that damage value. I'm now 1 level away from being able to use it, so with that, I decided it's time to go through Anor Londo, taking on this gargoyle here. Normally I'd be happy, but I'm getting very tired of getting weapons that I have to drop. Since this is going to be an easy fight, I decided I can just drop it during the fight. You know, nothing to worry about. I hated this mace at the start of the run, but I'm not going to lie, it's kind of grown on me. It has its situations. What hasn't grown on me is the amount of stuff I have to leave on the ground. Now, a chest back here. Once again, Demon Titanite. I can't use this because it requires boss weapons. It is the least useful upgrade material I could find. Nothing remarkable happened in the rafters. Just kind of systematically had them all jump off ledges. Then actually ended up managing to nail this jump that I normally can't do. I decided I should turn this down and go ahead and get the bonfire in front of Gwyndolin, the Darkening Tomb. Going back into the area with the painting, there is actually a chest across the way that I had skipped past. And of course it has the Divine Blessing. So I have 1 more full heal. Expertly dodging all of the Silver Knights, I decide I'm either going to parry it or let it drop. I couldn't decide which one and died doing both. Much better. And of course, per usual with this run, another item I can't take. Moving on, I can get the bonfire in here, and then go across the hall, because there's actually a chest guarded by this Silver Knight. That is no longer guarded by this Silver Knight. in this chest, I literally don't think I can even use these. But that gets me the last souls that I need to get to 12 dexterity, which allows me to equip and use the Crystal Halberd. 334 AR. Which then leads me to down here, in which we leveled all the strength for. It's like Christmas down here. We got the whole Havel armor set, along with Havel's Great Shield and the Dragon Tooth. This is why I leveled the strength. I remember this weapon. I don't know where most of the chests have in them, but I remember this weapon. 379 damage. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's much better. And of course, 2 more chests in here, with both the chests containing the entire Silver Knight armor. 2 armor sets. Anor Londo's great. I forgot to record it, but I got the Hawk Ring behind the giant blacksmith. So let's go ahead and see what our first attempt against Ornstein and Smough is. Just testing damage here. Yeah, I kind of figured the guy who uses lightning isn't going to take much. And that's actually fairly decent against Smough, but it'd take a little while. So, checking with the Dragon Tooth, that's much better damage, but it's so much slower. I had the idea here of what if I could just stagger lock him with the Dragon Tooth. So I want to see how many hits it took to stagger, and it seems to be about 3, which is not fast enough to be able to kill him before he kills me. I eventually decided that since I got it, I might as well use this Crystal Halberd. This thing is actually insane. High damage, high speed, lightweight, it's great. Of course, he had to get 1 hit in before I kill him. Once again, I did want to test what damage my spear would do, since it's been with me all along. And immediately decided that's not good enough. So, back to old reliable at this point. Half the damage of that spear, but just like the demons, Smough can bleed. And look at that damage. And what's neat is you can actually bleed him by hitting the hammer. You see that damage number didn't pop up. Now that he's low, I feel like I can use some durability of the halberd. Since it's a crystal weapon, I don't want to waste it. If you never use crystal weapons in this game, you need to know that they cannot be repaired, but in trade-off is they do great damage. But just like that, Ornstein and Smough, done like 4th try. Now, at Ornstein and Smough out the way, I can go ahead and claim the Lord Vessel from the amazing chest ahead.
Oh, chosen undead, I am Guinevere, daughter.
You know, I didn't think about it until much later in the run, but since I haven't been able to use Homeward Bones, this is a blessing. I can now warp. Well, let's go ahead and clean up the rest of Anor Londo, since I forgot about 1 chest inside of this room. Oh yeah, this is going to be helpful. I can feel it. Don't remember what's in it. This one's going to be helpful. God. That's it. I'm killing Gwendolyn. If you didn't know, there is a glitch to make this statue disappear by quitting out when you do a correct roll into this corner. Just like that, we can get into Gwendolyn. Yes, I'm fully aware it's a glitch. I don't care. I'm not killing Guinevere. You know, of all the bosses in Dark Souls 1, this is actually one of my least favorites. It just feels like a lot of running forward. And frankly, you never have anything to worry about. Usually. Unless you're really bad at this game like me. God, so close. Anyway, so we kill Gwendolyn. Now, why do we go out of our way to go and kill this optional boss? Well, it's because there's 3 chests in this room. And frankly, I don't want to mess up all 3. So, in the first one, nothing. Inside the second chest is a Miracle Sunlight Blade. And then inside the third, we actually get another armor set, the Brass Armor Set. One of the best looking ones. So now I decided to put my attunement to 10, so that we can actually put on Sunlight Blade. Why? I don't know, at the time I just kind of wanted to. I almost always run a Faith build, so I guess this is a small comfort to me. Now, after placing a Lord Vessel, we've opened up the rest of the areas in this game. We're going to start with going to the Duke's Archives, because I have something very fun that I need to do there. You know, I forget all the time that, this Firekeeper hates when you kill Gwendolyn. Anyways, in the Duke's Archives, we actually find one more chest in here. Well, chest used loosely. It's a mimic again. So one more Lloyd's Talisman, since I'm pretty sure this one had some type of shield. And I was right, for once. The Crystal Night Shield. I remember the Night Shield being really good, so the Crystal version is probably even better. Now, the durability is, of course, atrocious. I would like to begin this segment by saying I am by no means a challenge runner or a speed runner. With that said, I'm going to have to try and do something called Duke Skip, because the key item that you get by trying to get out of your cell is technically skippable by doing this. This might be the worst time I have ever had in a Dark Souls game. This took me an hour to do. So, here are my attempts. So far, I've managed to keep my 3 soft humanities and not lose them, so I was pretty happy. Until, I managed to do this. And, loading back in, I just drop off that ledge. Which I'm sure won't be an issue. It definitely won't cause my souls to be completely unrecoverable because they're on the side of the railing. Yeah. So now I have to perform Duke Skip without dying and quitting out perfectly each time. And then this happened. Yeah. This one was neat because although I started my death animation, I didn't die when I quit out. So I guess I take those. Let it be known, this is normally done with a bow and then a frame perfect input. So I have every right to skill issue on this. And finally, we have made it. It's one of the very few times I have done this. But I decided I want to de-aggro anything that might be aggroed on me. So I quit out. I'm not going to lie to you, I was actually afraid here of what I might not be able to see around the corner. Because if I die, I have to redo that skip. I need to get to the bonfire. All it is run past everything to get here, so this honestly wasn't noteworthy. The skip was the hardest part. I'm not gonna lie to you, the Duke's Archives was a lot easier than I remembered it being for me. As long as I paid attention to everything around me. Until I got hyperfixated on the channeler and got shot with an arrow for half my HP. And just like that, we have made it to the shortcut. And what I like to call the treasure room. Alright, so let's speed run some chests. The first one, we get a blue titanite chunk, something I literally cannot use. The second one, we get the Channeler's armor set. Then we get a key that we can't use because Logan isn't here. Followed by an ember that isn't helpful. And finally, the best chest of them all. I didn't know this was here. 20 prism stones. Is it going to be truly helpful? No, but for some reason I was so excited to have them. I don't know why. Now, there was one chest that we technically skipped. And that's going to be right down here. You get the drop off perfect timing. And what we get is the Avalon. With no bolts. So, that's great. Now that I have the ability to warp, I have decided that I'm going to go ahead and go back and clear up one vendetta that I left unsolved. This stupid Hydra. And just like that, 2 more items that I don't get to keep. This run is actually painful. I turned around to heal up before going up to fight Sif, and that's why we actually came to kill the Hydra. And I was pleasantly surprised to find a Vagrant down here. Nice. Anyway, it's time for Sif. Between the mace and this halberd, I've whiffed so many attacks. If I die to Sif, I'm going to quit this run. Alrighty. And just like that, we have the Covenant of Artorias. Sadly, we do have to drop all 4 of these items we just got. So here's the thing, you can drop this ring. However, it is a required item to be able to beat the game. So, FromSoft made a way to stop you from locking yourself out the endings. So here's a different character, I drop it on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and teleport back to Firelink. And then when you go back to this chest here, anything that's required that you can drop, you can just pick back up. Therefore making it an item from a chest and usable in the run. I hate the catacombs. Now, I figured I'd get through it as fast as possible, so I did the usual skip to the end, and then immediately realized I don't have the HP to live that skip to the end, and I can't heal. With this newfound realization, I decided it's probably best just to kind of end it. And let's restart from the top. So take 2 of the catacombs, go a little bit easier. I had already actually killed the first necromancer. The first round, I forgot to film it. And so now I get to go talk to Patches, which I have no issues with Patches or talking to him. The issue is I forget that when he tries to flip the bridge on you, he then gives you an item. This is why I wasn't talking to anyone in this run. And the game just decided I should wait by the Patches. I don't know why. So, after falling through the catacombs areas, which was easier than I remember, I make it to the bonfire down here and vomit. I was going to cut my run through these bone wheels, but look at how well I'm dodging them. I mean, look at me go. I don't remember being this good at this game. Look at this. Almost. Anyways, with that aside, it's time for Pinwheel. And frankly, I don't know why I bothered doing this, but I decided to use the Crystal Halberd on Pinwheel. As if he needed this type of damage. It's Pinwheel. I'm not going to bother including this. I think he did hit me one fireball, but it's really not worth showing. The more upsetting part is I can't drop the Rite of Kindling, and I can't pick up whatever mask that is, so I'll never know what mask I got. I know I mentioned it earlier in Playtown, but seriously, how many ladders does it take to beat Dark Souls 1? Because I thought there was one ladder here, and there's 2. My hunch was like 4 ladders. I think there might be 5, or even more. I don't know. Anyways, off topic there. Tomb of the Giants. So there's a couple fun things about this. 1, it sucks. 2, I have to navigate in the dark since you don't get the Skull Lantern from a chest. I'm trying to play it safe here after doing some exploring since I don't want to lose my soft humanity. That's fine. I'll just go and pick it up. I hate these dogs so much. Anyways, with nothing to lose now, I'm kind of flippantly exploring. Darkness. More darkness. Alright, take 1. This is our damage check. All we gotta do is hit Nito to see how much we're gonna do to him. Yeah. Good run 1. Alright, so a little backstory. Almost every time that I play a Dark Souls game, I'm a Faith build. I love support spells and, more importantly, stuff like this. I have holy weapons for it. I have never noticed how much chip damage you take from these stupid skeletons. Nor how out of place you can be for this. Anyways, I decided I should go ahead and upgrade the Dragon Tooth. Since I do have that 1 Dragon Scale, I'm not going to get anything else to use it on. So with a couple of deaths to Nito, I decided I should probably just open up all the boss runs so that I can just do them all back to back, starting with the New Londo Ruins, since I knew that there was Titanite chunks here. One behind this illusory wall, guarded by a Dark Wraith here. Y'all did not see that first clip. Ignore that. So now, inside this chest, we actually get a Titanite chunk. Which, believe it or not, is incredibly useful for this run. And just in the next building over, we got 1 more as well. Please stop. Alright. Now getting out of here, we can actually use our souls to level 2. Throwing more levels into Faith because I have a master plan. As I said, I love Faith builds. So now with the New Londo Ruins set up to be able to go fight the 4 kings, I get to go to Lost Islet, which sadly I can't take the shortcut, because if I talk to her here to join the Covenant, she's going to give me a Pyromancy, and that's not from a chest. So, I get to go through the long way. First up, the Demon Ruins and Ceaseless Discharge. So this is at 250% speed. I'm going to be completely transparent here. I sat here thinking this boss fight started on its own if you didn't pick up the armor. And I stood here so long that I actually cut out some of the time I was standing here doing nothing. So eventually I decided, well, what if I could hit him with something ranged? And all I have is, well, fire bombs. Because fire's going to aggro him. And then he just stared at me disappointedly. As if like I just like threw a wet napkin at him. And jump attacks don't work. This kill box is ridiculously high. So anyways, I figured I'd just pick up the armor and drop it because there's no rules against that. I just can't use the armor if I pick it up. I kind of have to. So one, run to a fog gate later. I also don't know why I decided to be so mean. He didn't do anything, but I dropped his sister's armor next to him. Honestly, doing this and knowing the lore behind it might make me a monster. But, free souls. So, you know, there's that. Anyways, on to the run. Look at that. If you look to the left, boom, chest right over there. That's our goal. A little bit after the first bonfire into this Lost Isles area, we can get a chest that gives us the large flame ember. I also forgot that I got the very large ember earlier. Yeah, I forgot to mention that or show it. So we actually got more embers. So next boss down, Demon Fire Sage, and we're gonna call it first try. We're just gonna call it first try. Don't worry about what you saw earlier. Now the neat part here is on top of the usual drops, it also drops the Demon Fire Catalyst or whatever it's called. So I can't pick that up either. Once again, so I had to leave another item on the floor and drop this humanity. Centipede Demon time. This was actually really easy. This might have been the easiest Centipede Demon I've ever had to fight. He did nothing but jump this entire fight. And at no point in the fight did he just stay over in the lava, so it was just simply hit him when he falls and repeat that same thing over and over. So, a bunch of free souls. I actually don't know why here, but I thought that the lava would only damage your leg armor for some reason, so I put on the helmet instead of the legs before running through any of the lava. I have no clue why, but there actually is a chest on the way to the bonfire after the Centipede Demon's bonfire that has a soul item. Bonfire before the Bed of Chaos, and of course, now we need to go ahead and drop the ring so I don't forget, and we'll do the exact same thing that we did last time. First things first, I have enough souls to be at a level, so I'm going to go ahead and throw another one into Faith, inching ever closer to 30. And then we're going to go ahead and warp back to Firelink, and as you can see, I'm leaving the ring on the ground over there. Same chest in Firelink. Once again, new ring. Killing the Chaos Eater that's guarding this chest over here after the Pyromancer, we actually get the only Pyromancy that's in a chest. Chaos Fire Whip. And funny enough, you can get one of every type of spell from a chest. And of course, there's one more upgrade material I do want to get from a chest. You drop down here and turn around. If you roll onto this ledge and then drop into this poison garbage, at the end of this hall, you can go ahead and pick yourself up a red Titanite slab. And die to the poison because you can't heal. Yeah, it's fine. Just go ahead and pick up your soul. As long as nothing causes you to have a heart attack. I said nothing causes you to have a heart attack. Alrighty. Never worried, never punished. Alright, let's go ahead and take on the Bed of Chaos. First part's easiest. Just run to one of these, break it, and then quit out. At this point, I just kind of figured if I tank that hit, I can make it to the other side. All I gotta do is get in there fast enough to be able to break it and quit out. A little bit of luck, that's what happens. Then, not a very fun time here. But then I just roll right in. Low breaking some branches later, we get to the bug. You know, anyone else ever wonder what they would have done if they weren't so pressed for time making this boss? So it was right here that I realized that I had to collect Lord Souls, and so that's another key item that I can't be skipping. There's a lot of items that aren't from chests in this run, I'm not going to lie to you. But with that said, I go ahead and drop my humanity, and then I also realized that I just got a lot of souls from that, because this is a main game progression boss. Which means I can return to Firelink, and I can get 30 faith. And what does 30 faith give us? None other than Sunlight Blade, with the talisman that we picked up from the second chest in the game. So the damage that we have now on the Dragon Tooth of just over 400 versus the damage that we have on the Dragon Tooth with Sunlight Blade, all the way up to 709 damage. You know, I'm starting to feel pretty powerful in this run, I'm not gonna lie. So of course, let's take on Nito. This time, I feel ready. I hate these dogs. I hate them so much. But I found another Vagrant. That was nice. I took that Vagrant as a good omen. So, ready for this attempt, I get weapon at risk. If you didn't know, it makes your weapon do a lot less damage and means it's going to break pretty soon. There is one trick that can help me here though. Crystal weapons cannot be repaired, that is true, and they have low durability. You can, however, upgrade them, and when you do, it fixes their durability. So it renews it to full, so you can technically repair, in quotations, a crystal weapon a total of 5 times. And I actually have a Titanite chunk to do so. 2 of them even. New damage and repaired. And there we go. With one last stab into his leg, I have beat what was the hardest boss for this entire run. Sadly, alongside Moonlight Butterfly. Never would have thought I said that. Frankly, I think I only won because his RNG of constantly spamming the explosion kept killing the skeletons for me. A win is a win. Time to put some levels into health and then take on the 4 kings. Every single time I ever enter this area, the first thing I do is run down, because I always feel like those stupid ghosts. I don't know why, but I remembered people used to drop items where you drop, so I tried to drop a prism stone. And this was so jarring, I just did not know what to do now. I don't know why that scared me so much. The death sound of the prism stone made me lose all focus. Well, it doesn't matter. Run 1 is just a damage check. It's okay damage. Well, at least we did round 1 accomplishment. Look at how close this is. Look at how close that is. My greed consumes me. I'm still mad about that whiff. So now, I get hit by a stupid ghost. I did figure out something cool. You can use shields that you don't have the attribute for. And that did barely any HP to me. This, however, did enough HP to me. Although the 4 Kings took less attempts, I feel like I was learning more as I fought the 4 Kings. I mean, using this shield is actually quite helpful for all the moves that I suck at dodging. That's 1 king down with an extra hit. down 2 extra hits on the HP there. But I'm still pretty hurt. Especially hurt. If I decide to full send this run and use one of my divine blessings, this was going to be the run whether I wanted it to be or not. Right before the explosion, that would have sucked. One more. And just like that, the 4 kings are dead. That's 3 of the 4 Lord Souls acquired. And honestly, I kept dropping these Prism Stones at the start until I realized now, looking back at this, that's like a speedrunner thing, I think, to get to the bonfire. I was confused for a second until I realized they gave me 4 humanities, since there's 4 kings. And then I put all my levels into endurance, so I can now do a fast roll while having my talisman and the legs on. I was actually, when running through this, trying to think of what to voice over here. Probably about how easy the Crystal Cave is and about how I never die in this area. And then that happened. I mean, that didn't happen. Seeing the moonlight butterflies in this area started to give me some PTSD from the bridge. So my first attempt, I tried to fight these clams to try and clear them out so they wouldn't follow me to the boss room. Until this clam started literally beating me worse than half the bosses so far. So I decided it's best just to run past the clams and hope they don't make it in. Yeah, surely that won't be an issue later, right? Time for Seath the Scaleless. Wait for him to break his own crystal. And clams. And another clam. And then over here, that same clam's following me. And another clam. I'm not gonna lie to you, this entire first attempt is me running from clams. But look at that damage. Please don't get cursed, please don't get cursed. The fear of being cursed is why I left Seath for last, because I can't pick up Purging Stones. Attempt number 2. That damage is crazy good for him. I did feel like I had used Dragon Tooth because I have though. And, well, +1 Dragon Tooth with Sunlight Blade, I figured to do really good damage. Frankly, 2 attempts, see? I'm quite pleased. And that is the 4th and final Lord Soul. Using the souls from Seath, I'm going to level my health 1 time, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to Andre so I can upgrade my halberd 1 more time, and my armor. Now, upgrading the halberd will also fix it and increase the damage, so it's a win-win there. So, I'll say this before we get to the final fight. The reason I can't do the DLC in this run, or at least I'm not going to, is because I need to grab a key item to get grabbed into the DLC, and it's not required to beat the game. So for this challenge run, I'm not doing the DLC. Now, although I don't think I'm going to need it, since I got this item from a chest, I really did want to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that for 20k souls, which is enough to get 1 more level. And I'm going to go ahead and put that into my vitality so that I have a little bit more health for Gwyn. So close to making through all these Black Knights without getting hit. But I really did want to first try Gwyn, so I decided I'd see if I can do it here. With me taking so much chip damage from all the guarding, I had to make sure that I'm not going to die here, so I'm pulling out all the stops. And with that final parry, I've killed Gwyn, and I have officially beaten Dark Souls 1 using only chest items and the absolute required key items to beat the game. And so one last time, I have to do something very painful, which is drop even his soul on the ground. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for watching this challenge run. It's the first one I've ever recorded and put together. I've always wanted to, but never had the time. So if you stayed till the end and watched it all, I truly appreciate it, and I cannot thank you guys enough. This is truly just something I've always wanted to do, but never had the time. I work a full-time job, and YouTube's not like a career thing to me. I'm not an internet personality. I'm just someone who enjoys making content, and although the editing is crude, I enjoy the editing too. This took me upwards of probably 24 hours total to make over a week or two. With that said, I really hope this does well, because I would like to do more runs and publish them. I already have one or two that I've been talking with my friends about making. That would be kind of fun to do, as long as I don't get too busy to do it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get rid of the last non-chest item that's on the map right now, because I'm going to want to pick up that soul if I don't get rid of it. And with that, Dark Souls 1 chest only items. Please like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy your day. Don't worry, going forward, I'm going to be planning out the runs, so they'll be much more organized. See you guys.